What if I told you that one of the most influential literary works in Western civilization, Dante's Divine Comedy, might have been inspired by a blind poet from Syria? It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But this is the story of Abu alAla al-Maari, a man whose mind built worlds that his eyes could never see. Born in Ma'arat al-Numan, Syria, tragedy struck early in his life. At just 5 years old, smallpox stole his sight. For many, this would have been an insurmountable barrier, a life sentence to darkness. But for the young Al-Maari, it was the spark that ignited an extraordinary fire within. His world, no longer defined by light and shadow, became one of pure thought, profound emotion, and intricate language. He turned his so-called weakness into his greatest strength, training his memory to an astonishing degree and dedicating his life to knowledge. Everything he could no longer perceive with his eyes, he absorbed through his mind, his heart, and his words, forging a legacy that cements him as one of the towering figures of world literature and philosophy. This wasn't just a story of overcoming adversity. It was the birth of a philosopher far ahead of his time. Centuries before European thinkers like Nietzsche or Sartre wrestled with existentialism and nihilism, Al-Maari was already exploring these complex ideas. His writings dive deep into the human condition, questioning the search for meaning in a seemingly chaotic universe and boldly critiquing the social and religious dogmas of his era. He challenged everything, urging people to use reason as their guide rather than blind faith. He was a rationalist, a skeptic, and a freethinker, in an age where such views were often dangerous. His most famous works stand as testaments to his genius. There's the Epistle of Forgiveness, or Risalat al-Ghufran, a visionary journey through heaven and hell where he engages in dialogues with heretical poets of the past. It's this very work that many scholars, including the great Spanish Arabist Miguel Asín Palacios, believe laid the foundational blueprint for Dante's Divine Comedy. The parallels in structure, theme, and even specific imagery are simply too striking to ignore. Imagine a blind poet from Syria imagining an afterlife so vividly that it would echo through the halls of European literature centuries later. Then there is his collection of poems, Luzum Mala Yalzum, which translates to On What Is Unnecessary. Here, he imposed incredibly strict and complex rhyming schemes upon himself, a technical challenge that showcased his unparalleled mastery of the Arabic language. But beyond the form, the content is a raw, unfiltered reflection of his philosophy. He writes about pessimism, the futility of human ambition, and the suffering inherent in existence. Yet it's not a philosophy of despair. It's a call to intellectual honesty, to face the world as it is without comforting illusions. He advocated for a simple, ascetic life, even practicing veganism out of compassion for animals, a concept remarkably modern for the 10th and 11th centuries. Beyond the towering intellect of the poet and philosopher, there was the man, Abu alAla al-Maari, who lived a life of practical wisdom. Despite his fame and the offers of patronage from powerful rulers, he chose to live a secluded life in his hometown. He never married and had no children, famously writing that his life of suffering was a crime his father committed, a crime he would not inflict on another. Yet, he wasn't a total recluse. He served his community, even acting as a respected voice of justice in local matters. Imagine the scene. A man who could not see the faces of those who came to him for guidance, yet whose insight and clarity of thought allowed him to dispense wisdom that was both fair and profound. His blindness forced him to rely on pure reason and empathy, making him a symbol of true, unbiased justice. He was a living testament to the idea that true vision comes not from the eyes but from the mind and the heart. His reflections on life and death are particularly moving, capturing the transient nature of our existence with haunting beauty. One of his most famous verses paints a vivid picture of this understanding. He writes, "Did that dove weep or sing atop its trembling branch? These are our graves, filling the wide spaces. Yet where are the graves from the age of Ad? Lighten your step. Surely the surface of the earth is nothing but these bodies." Let that sink in. He is telling us that the very ground we walk upon is composed of the generations that came before us. The dust beneath our feet is the physical remnant of countless lives, empires, and stories. This isn't meant to be morbid. It's a profound meditation on mortality. It's a call for humility, for us to lighten our step, to walk through this world with an awareness of our place in the long, continuous chain of humanity. Wisdom, for Al-Maari, comes from understanding this fleeting nature of life, not from fearing it. He saw the world not as a solid, permanent stage for our dramas, but as a delicate, ever-shifting layer of history, a tapestry woven from the bodies and souls of our ancestors. So, how did he do it? How did a boy who lost his sight in a small Syrian town become one of the most influential poets and philosophers the world has ever known? The answer isn't a magical secret. It lies in three simple, yet immensely powerful human qualities: an unyielding willpower, an insatiable love for knowledge, and a deep abiding passion for the power of words. He refused to let his circumstances define his destiny. While the world saw a blind man, he saw an opportunity to cultivate his inner world to a degree few could ever imagine. His mind became his kingdom, and language his tool for building empires of thought. The story of Abu alAla al-Maari is more than just a historical account. It's a timeless lesson for all of us. It teaches us that the true barriers in our lives are not the external circumstances we face, but the internal limits we place upon ourselves. Our potential is not dictated by our physical abilities, our background, or the challenges thrown our way. It is defined by our choices, by our commitment to learning, and by the fierce determination to shape our own reality. If the story of a blind poet from 1,000 years ago can inspire awe and reflection today, imagine what you can achieve. What are the blind spots in your own life that you've allowed to hold you back? Al-Maari's legacy challenges us to look beyond them, to cultivate our minds, and to use our unique voices to make our mark on the world. His life proves that with enough willpower and passion, the human spirit can overcome any darkness. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the mind of a true genius. If stories like this inspire you to think differently and unlock your own potential, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We have many more stories of incredible minds to share with you. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep pushing your own boundaries.